Thanks for the opportunity to tell you about how we handle online materials in the Danish National Bibliography. I'll start by briefly giving you some background information in order to make you understand the Danish context. The Danish National Bibliography is mainly produced by DBC. We handle books, articles, audios, recorded music, images, and also movies. The rest of the National Bibliography is produced by the Royal Library. And here we are talking about serials, notated music, and cartographic materials. DBC is a public limited company owned by the local government Denmark and the state. Local government Denmark is an association of the local authorities in Denmark. DBC's part of the National Bibliography is produced according to a contract between the Danish Ministry of Culture and DBC. According to the contract, DBC every year gets an amount for producing the National Bibliography. The legal basis for receiving this money is the Danish Act on Finance. It is here stressed out that the money for the National Bibliography is given in connection with the law on library services and not in connection with the law on legal deposit. When the data are produced, they are free for everybody to use because the state already paid for them. So as you can see, it's a little bit different from the situations in other countries where it's produced in the National Library. At the same time, DBC also makes additional cataloging for and paid by Danish libraries. And we do that in the same process as registration for the National Bibliography. We make one record which includes both the data for the National Bibliography and also might include data wanted by the libraries. In additional cataloging, we single out relevant materials for public libraries and point out the relevance of the material to certain types of libraries. This is a book for a children's library, etc. We also add data to support dissemination in the libraries, notes describing the content and notes on who the audience should be for this material, etc. DBC also operates and develops DanBib. It's the Danish Union Catalog and Superstructure system for the entire Danish library service. DanBib is used by the professionals in the libraries. Besides, DBC operates and develops Bibliotek.dk, or Library.dk in English, which is the citizens' OPAC to the whole Union Catalog. The organization and funding of the National Bibliography and the Union Catalog connects the services of the National Bibliography strongly to library services, and the result is also an expectation in the libraries that the National Bibliography actively takes part in providing the necessary metadata for the libraries. As in many other countries, and for obvious reasons, the situation in the 90s were that none of the selection principles for inclusion in the National Bibliography considered online materials. In 1998, a national bibliographic registration of e-books was established on some kind of a trial basis, you can call it. This was called INDOREC and have since 1998 and until 2011 produced National Bibliography records on e-books in a special list, not together with physical books. The selection principles for sound, moving, and still images were at the same time expanded to include online materials. This was done without further elaboration on, for example, the definition of the word published in an online environment. There were no expansions made on the principles for recorded music and articles. So, to be honest, the principles were not quite logic. We could record a Danish online audio, but not record Danish recorded music online. As we lack proper definitions, we since the late 90s and up to 2011 have been handling the selection principles as follows. All ebooks defined in a broad sense, including PDF files, etc., that came to our notice and we could get access to were registered after more or less the same basic criteria as printed books. All audiobooks or movies included in library solutions were registered as part of the national bibliography. In Denmark, we have different library solutions which offer the citizens the possibility of downloading audios or streaming movies at home if their local library has subscribed to the solution. It was important to bring the users' attention to those online versions of the titles in the same context as they explored the physical version of the title. The importance of this was strictly pointed out by the libraries in Denmark. We knew that the current selection criteria were not good enough and impossible to handle, and at the same time we also knew we didn't do enough to show all the important resources of information at the internet in order to make the national bibliography a more timely service, but we could identify a broad range of problems. How is Publish defined when it comes to free materials just lying on the internet for everybody to see? How could we handle traditional principles on extent when it comes to online materials? We normally leave out physical books under 17 pages, but different formats of the same text results in different number of pages. Also, in connection with other kind of resources containing text, the number of pages isn't even in question. The same resource could be downloaded in different formats. How many records does it make sense for the national bibliography to make? Homepages, databases, etc., all new and important sources to information and cultural experience were not included in the national bibliography, but at the same time, an enormous amount of such resources is on the internet. Which link should we choose, and afterwards, should we maintain it, and are we obliged to maintain it? Should the task for the national bibliography be making a link referring to where to buy the material, or should the link point to a collection? What would be the best solution? I need to tell you that Denmark also has legal deposit for internet resources. This is called www.netarchive.dk. Since 2005, the internet has been included in the Danish legal deposit law. The task is undertaken by the State and University Library and by the Royal Library. But NetArchive.dk can't be accessed by the general public, but must only be used for science after strictly rules. This is mainly a question of protection of privacy, and it is a principle which politically seems impossible to get by at present. NetArchive.dk also doesn't assign metadata according to international cataloging principles to the archived material. In the Danish Bibliographic Council, BIR, as we call it in Denmark, which is an advisory board appointed by the Danish Agency for Culture and consisting of bibliographic experts and representatives from the libraries, we had several discussions and attempts to address the problems. In 2009, a smaller working group was established. The members were a mix of librarians from public libraries and experts in the bibliographic area. And the task was to define what would be appropriate to include in the national bibliography if seen from the point of view of a public or a more general library collection. The task also included that if it was possible, selection principles could be stated and suggestions on level on cataloging could be made, all within the respect of the economic situation. The basis and inspiration for this work was the publication National Bibliographies in the Digital Age. The result of this work was a vision mainly saying, the National Bibliography should serve as a current, timely, and central service for disseminating a country's published material with no consideration of physical or non-physical appearance. Several pragmatic suggestions on what to include and suggestions on adjustment in level of cataloging were also stated. It was characteristic that librarians from the public libraries had a strong focus on the content and the quality of the resources rather than the more objective and formal criteria bibliographers normally work by. The message from the libraries was also the National Bibliography doesn't need to be exhaustive and perfect. We can recognize that this isn't the goal when it comes to online materials. The Bibliographic Council advised the Ministry of Culture to move forward on the recommendations from the working group. In order to move forward, the following tasks were defined to be carried out by a consultant. The consultant should make the suggestions more concrete so they could serve as selection principles. There should also be made more accurate guidelines on cataloging, level, and maintenance. An estimation on extent and suggestions for quotas for the number of registered items were also a task. And finally, the consultant also should give suggestions for an ongoing evaluation of the area. As you probably can imagine, this isn't quite an easy task. It didn't get easier by the fact that this was to be done within the current economic frame. So, of course, the result isn't perfect and it would need to be revised along the way, but we are actually trying to do some things and take some initiatives to make the National Bibliography more active in this area. In our working process on finding solutions, we especially found inspiration in the IFLA guidelines in the following areas. The guideline states the importance of content as a key aspect and not media or type or resource. This point meets the wishes of the practical librarians very well. The guidelines also states that the National Bibliography don't need to be exhaustive, but could be representative. This point makes the project more realistic, both practical and financially. Different levels of descriptions depending on the significance of the type of the source are, according to the guidelines, quite okay within the National Bibliography. At the same time, the guidelines also gives encouragement to reuse metadata associated with the resource. This is also an important point, but at the same time, I think it challenges the standards for cataloging. Data produced from outside the library community can't be expected to follow the cataloging code, so if we reuse the data, really should be done more rational. This has to be examined. A report was completed by the consultant, and in June 2011, an amendment to the contract on the National Bibliography concerning registration of online materials was signed by the Danish Agency for Culture and DBC. The Danish Agency for Culture did this on behalf of the Ministry of Culture, I would add. The general consequences of the contract is as follows. According to the report, we say that published when it comes to online material is to be defined as intended published and available for free or by payment. Not considered as handling private or local matters, and not considered as intended for a closed group or smaller audience, but intended for a broad audience. When we speak of completeness of registration for certain parts of the online materials, we define this as if the material is brought to our attention by the publisher through a library solution, etc., and we can get access to the material, but we are not obliged to actively screen for materials. Saying this, of course, we will make general campaigns to the publishers in order to ensure they know that online material also is a target for registration in the National Bibliography. Books. On the next slide, I'll tell you about the concrete consequences for the materials. When it comes to books, all online materials similar to a printed book are registered in the same list as a printed book. To do this in a rational way, we have introduced a new level of description, copy cataloging. When we register an online book, we copy the registration of the print version of this, if this exists, without other corrections than significant media information and identifiers. We don't check if information from the cover, etc., from the printed version is left out of an online version. Instead, we make a standard note saying that the description is based on the physical version of the material. This is done from medio 2012. We know that copy cataloging in general could be a phenomena we use in a transition period where both physical and online versions still are published. We decide that the service the National Bibliography ought to provide is to give the URL to the place where to buy the resource. The publisher is preferred if he is selling the material. Otherwise, if the publisher don't sell the item themselves, and it only can be obtained from several internet bookshops, no URL is recorded, and we simply add the sentence, sale on the internet. I would also mention that online multimedia are included in the list of books. That's quite similar to what we do with the physical on multimedia. Besides, joint library solutions can get special URLs registered, and we also cooperate with such solutions on metadata. We receive metadata, and the solutions in some cases switch to use the National Bibliography's metadata when these have been produced. When it comes to online materials not similar to books, but with important information, these can be registered within a yearly quota. For now, it's 300 a year, used for a retrospective project, and on a low descriptive level. For example, personal authors are often left out. 300 a year doesn't sound much, but when we have achieved a fundament of stable resources, we think this is quite all right in a Danish context. The fundament we are building on in selecting and transforming relevant records from a big joint project between public libraries on the internet resources into the National Bibliography. When this is done, we have an indication based on earlier investigations that 300 new Danish online resources a year of the type and quality the library wants isn't that bad. When selecting online materials not similar with books, but still mainly consist of texts, we use these criteria. The basic criteria for physical material should be fulfilled. For example, no internal papers are registered. We have focus on dissemination and accessibilities for libraries. We look at content, target audience, and stability. In looking at content, we prioritize what you might call public service information and online information, which in the old days probably would have been published as reports or books. That doesn't mean we don't register sites with information about hobbies, etc., but we should feel obliged to deliver the public service as our main focus. To be sure that we give the libraries what they want, an advisory board representing the libraries is about to be established. I need to add that we have realized that the process of selection when it comes to online material will take longer than it does for physical materials. Instead, cataloging is at a lower level. Besides these initiatives, DBC has been allowed directly from several publishers of free online material similar to printed books and articles to make a copy of the material and give access to this in case the URL to the publisher's site doesn't work anymore. For now, this is done with free PDF files if the publisher has given us his consent. At present, the archive holds over 13,000 copies of free books and 17,000 articles. I might add that this is not a part of the National Bibliography Service, and we don't have privacy problems in this archive because it only consists of published material. So we can give access to the content. Concerning audios, we registrate online versions simultaneously as physical versions as copy cataloging. And this is done the same way as we do copy cataloging when we are registering books. It really saves time because audios online don't have a physical cover with information to use. By copy cataloging, we don't have to download the audio and listen to the start of it. Besides that, the audio itself often lacks important information. The presentation of the same audio are often different from one sales site to another, so it's hard to use those as any kind of bibliographic information. Other online audiobooks received through cooperation with library solutions and from publishers are also registered. A quota for now 100 a year on other online audios than books, with almost the same principles for selection as text, has been approved. For example, at present some librarians have made online inspiration audios presenting different musical subjects to library users. At audios we also have a general limit on extent. The playing time should be at least 15 minutes. When it comes to moving images, we have these rules for online material. As a superior rule, the playing time must be at least 15 minutes. At first we have planned this as an all-over rule, but we found out that exceptions had to be made, because several movies for small children, which were important in children's libraries, have a minor playing time. The audience probably can't sit still for that long. All original Danish movies are candidates for registration. By Danish, we mean produced for Danish Protestants, Danish speak, or with a Danish director. Notice that Danish subtitles are not enough. We think subtitles on movies is a subject with difficulties. Nowadays, movies are more or less international, and a big amount of subtitles are offered. Should every national bibliography covering the language of one of the subtitles register the same movie on a full level? As a practical solution for now, we only register foreign movies with Danish subtitles when they are relevant and accessible for libraries. And we had a quota for that, saying 200 a year. As a principle, as much as possible is copy cataloging in the sense I explained earlier with books and audios. Also, we have a quota for now, 50 a year for registration of slideshows, important TV recordings, etc., which are not registered elsewhere. When it comes to recorded music, we make a registration as album when possible. Contrary to other areas, all registration of recorded music is within quotas. We register all Danish music generally relevant for libraries, relevant when it comes to content. When the material appears physical, copy cataloging an online version is made by copy cataloging if it exists. Sorry. Unlike other areas, no consideration of accessibility for libraries at present are made. We don't consider accessibility in this area because at present the most used online library solution on recorded music in Denmark often get the material afterwards. We have had the material in hand, so for the moment this is a more practical solution. New original Danish music only published online can be registered on a low level of description if the content is relevant and accessible for libraries. A special advisory board representing the users have been established in this area. When it comes to articles, we normally index articles for about 750 serials a year. The news in this area are serials which are not online published, which are only online published, can now be indexed. Articles both published in print and online get one record telling that this article also is available online. Codes on type of material are assigned in one record covering both the print and online version. Maintenance was also a key subject. For now we have a half-automated service, but in the future we will have full automation in this area working as follows. Every URL is to be checked every 2 weeks. When the URL hasn't given acceptable response over a period of 6 weeks, the record will be corrected automatically. The URL is to be removed and a note saying that the URL has been found not acceptable will be added. Besides, please remember that when a URL has been removed, it might be possible that a document no longer found on the internet could be found in the DBC web archive. For internal use, we will also get the original URL if we have the lucky situation that one day the web archive will be open to everybody. We know that online material is an evolving area, and we didn't find the perfect solution at the beginning. So evaluation is a very important issue. An annual report and plan for the quotas for the coming year, including reaction comments from the advisory board of users, is to be delivered to the Danish Agency for Culture. Also, it is very important to mention that every second year the Danish Bibliographic Council will evaluate the area as a whole. Some important questions are: is it now possible to obtain synergy with NetArchive DK? It would be great if we could point out the URLs in the archive and the public could get access to this, and also if it was possible to use the archive for selection and for getting the material's own metadata. Also the question, does the national bibliography include the material needed in the libraries, or should adjustment be made, should be asked in the evaluation. At last, I will give you some numbers of what we are talking about. For now, in 2012 up to now, we have registered 10,328 physical books and multimedia, and we also have registered 3,837 online books and multimedia. This is for the year 2012. And when it comes to audios, you see as well as we have 1,166 physical audios and 333 online audios. We have a little around 2,000 physical DVDs, etc., and about 500 online movies. Articles, we have 6,660 only physical online articles in 2012 and 1,118 only online articles. But we also have 9,340 which are both in a physical and in online form. So that should give you a little insight in the proportions. Thanks for your attention.